Hi, I'm Staci Budde and I'm from St. Charles, Missouri. I have a daughter, Avery. Actually, I have twins, Avery and Addison. They were born 2 years ago. Avery was born with several heart defects, pulmonary atresia, tetralogy of Fallot, an ASD and a VSD. So without getting too technical, she basically had a hole in the upper chambers and the bottom chambers. Her aorta was too big, and her main pulmonary artery did not form. So since that has transpired, she has had 3 open heart surgeries. She has suffered a heart attack. She has brain damage from lack of oxygen at some point. And she's had 2 eye surgeries because she developed strabismus from the lack of oxygen. It kind of damaged that part of her brain. Since then, she's doing well. They both are ornery little 2-year-olds. We just had her second eye surgery 3 weeks ago, and she seems to be doing well from that. We also just saw cardiology and found out for the first time since she's been born, we are in normal heart function. Never happened before, so we're excited. To me, I feel like I have a child who is, she can be a little girl now for, a little while. We know she's not done with heart surgery. I just don't want it to be 3 back to back. I want her to be able to run and keep up with the kids at school and, keep up with her sister. And, she's walking and jumping and running, and she is a dancing machine. She loves to dance and she loves to sing, and she's a little behind, but she's catching up quickly. In 5 months, she's gone from here to here, and it's amazing to see the progress that she's made, and to know that I think we're starting to get over that hill and get to a better place. We developed the Avery Budde Foundation as a kind of a tribute to our hospital here in St. Louis. St. Louis Children's Hospital is ranked number 5 in the nation, and we're lucky to have them this close. When we first got to the hospital, Avery's first heart surgery, we were in roughly 7 weeks, and it was a very traumatic time. She was very critical, had a lot of really hard days, and those nurses were by our side day in and day out. They'd come in and they'd cry with you, they would come in and they'd hold your hand, or they'd come in and tell it like it is. You have to go to the parent lounge and sit and wait until we're done. I can't take credit for starting the foundation because it initially is my mother's idea. When she got discharged, there was no rocking chairs in the ICU. They just built this brand new cardiac ICU, and it's beautiful. And we thought, your first instinct, you want to rock your child. There's no rocking chairs. So my mom went to the ICU manager and said, you know what, we're just going to give you 12 rocking chairs so they can have them. And he said, well, OSHA standards, you can't have rocking chairs. You can pinch your fingers. So we went home and thought about it, and he said, we have this wish list that has all these great things that we still need for the unit. And so my parents own a ranch in Bourbon, Missouri. It's about an hour from St. Charles. They have cabins, canoeing, horseback riding, tons of land. So we had the resources. My mom said, why don't we just put on a benefit and see how much money we can raise, and we'll just give it to the hospital, to the ICU, and they can get what they need. So we put it together in about 6 weeks. It came together well. We raised $15,000 the first day, and we donated it to the hospital. And we thought, you know what? If we can do that in 6 weeks, what can we do if we have a year to plan it? So we went about our way and planned it for the next year. And last year we raised $24,000. So it's gotten bigger, a little bit bigger each year. We also donate to Camp Rhythm, which is a camp that's put on for kids with that's had open heart surgery. Our cardiologist, Dr. Sharkey, started that 5 years ago, and it's all donor funded. And so we donate $5,000 to that, which will help send, for food, or send the kids to camp. We take 61 kids, and then they can be normal kids for the week. Swim, camp, we have doctors on staff, all the nurses are on staff at the camp the whole time in case there would be any issues, because most of these kids can't go to a normal camp because they're on heart meds and they're on those things, and those nurses at the camps are not, they can't deal with that. So Camp Rhythm is another part that we donate to. We've also branched out into families in need. We are just doing a small portion to the families in need. When St. Louis Hospital is one of the transplant centers for the Midwest. So we have several people that come in from out of state. It's becoming bigger and bigger. You know, and Ronald McDonald House and Haven House can only hold so many people. So what happens is they'll come in and they don't have placement and they're living in the parent lounge at the hospital or out of their car or getting a hotel, and that's an added expense when you're already not working for being in so long for your child in the hospital. So we have teamed up with a social worker, and she gives us referrals, and it's for families that come in that they're waiting to be placed into Ronald McDonald or the Haven House. We will pick up their first week of lodging and food until they can get them placed. So that's an extra expense that's not tacked onto the already completely stressful situation that they're in. You don't need to worry about where you're staying or where, you know, if you're going to eat today. You need to worry about, your focus is on your child at that point, not where you're laying your head that night. So we want to be able to take an added stress off that. I also just found out last week, this is very exciting, we have sent nurses to Miami and a couple different national conferences to learn the feeding programs and things that they're implementing here. Because of Avery's Foundation, we are sponsoring the very first St. Louis Children's National Pediatric Nursing Conference in September of 2010. It's huge. We're very honored to be a part of it, and they're actually naming it the Avery Budde Foundation Pediatric Nursing Conference. So it's huge to be able to bring that here when they haven't been able to do that before. It's to be able to give back and have that we can bring people from other states here to learn is amazing. You know, this last benefit, we were a little bit worried because it was a little colder outside, and it didn't seem like there was as many people there this year. So we were kind of worried, you know, oh, you know, I hope this raises enough money. And one of the nurses said something to me that night that we were sitting around the bonfire after everything was over, and I said, you know, I'm kind of panicked. You know, we want to be able to keep this going strong. And she said, it's not how much you give, it's the fact that you're a family and you're going above and beyond to give this to us. No one does that. She's like, we don't care if you give us $5. She's like, this is, you know, this is what you guys are doing. You're going above and beyond to give to us. And that kind of made me feel good that night, because I don't look at it like that. It's just, we kind of sit around like, wow, do we really just raise over $65,000 for the hospital? And it's, to be honest, and I told this to everyone at the benefit, it's because of their donations that make Avery have a foundation. We are just lucky enough that people donate to it, and we're the voice behind it. That's all that we are. We are the face that they see. We are the voice behind it. It is the people that come to the benefit, that support us, that support the hospital, that make it what it is. And if it wasn't for everybody who's donated and supported us, there wouldn't be a foundation and there wouldn't be a national nursing conference. So we can't take the credit for it, because it's just, we're sort of the third party. First of all, don't give up. When somebody tells you that your goal is not attainable, don't take that to heart, because it is attainable. Keep pushing it. If you have an idea, write it down. A lot of my best thoughts came right before I was going to bed, and I kept a pad of paper by my bed, and I'd wake up and say, oh, let's do a dessert auction, or oh, let's do, you know, keep it going. Don't give up on that.